Hi, this is Ronnie, and welcome to my channel. And welcome to Punched Out Thursday with Kathy, Krista, Dorothy, and myself. I'm going to scrap this picture here, and I did it in black and white because the picture had like a dark streak across the bottom. I think every one of these pictures do. There must have been something wrong with the camera. But I'm going to go ahead and do my punched out part first. And yeah, I'm not staying in frame very good, but I did zoom in. I did do that. So most of it will be in frame though, but I do forget a little bit. I'm punching out two different sets of butterflies, and they're both Martha Stewart though. I punched out a 1/4 inch in white, a 1/4 inch circle, and I used the berries on the holly berry punch. Yeah, I use them a lot. They're just little tiny black pieces that I'm going to be using on here. Well, I'm only going to use one on this, but I'm going to use some more in a little bit. I took one of the butterflies and turned it around, and this little bottom sticking out for the mouth on my fish. This is going to be a fish. I cut this butterfly in half, and I'm going to put half on top and half on the bottom for fins, and then the other butterfly I'm going to cut it in half and just use 1/2 of it for its tail. And then the last little butterfly, yeah, I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to put it on the side for the gills or fin. I don't know, one or the other. It looks like I'm going to do the eye first, and I'm going to put the white and then the little teeny tiny black, and then I'm going to pull out my jelly roll pen and put a little dot in the black part of the eye. But see, it's beginning to look like a fat little fish. I thought about using a 1 inch, but I used 1 1/4 inch punch and made him just a little bit fatter. And see how his little fin sticks out since I only folded the heart in half? Thought about cutting that little heart in half, but then I thought, well, if I fold it, it looks like he's going to move. And I do put a tiny bit of glue underneath the wing, just the edge, well, where the fold's at, and so it don't stand up quite so much. But yeah, it's going to be all right once it gets in the page protector. And now you're probably thinking she should have zoomed back out. I didn't think of it, or maybe I would have. But I did cut that wood grain at an angle so that it'd be tapered down at the end. And it's going to be a fishing pole. And right now I am punching out, see those wedding rings? It's a punch for a wedding ring, and it don't punch completely out. I'm thinking it's on purpose. I don't think it's defective or anything. And you have to clip just a tiny bit to get it out of there. So you will see me clipping on each one, but it's done it since I got it. That's why I'm thinking it was on purpose. And I'm going to use them for the eye on my fishing pole. Well, I'm only going to use one ring on each. I'm going to clip the other ring off, but I am going to use them for the eye on the fishing pole because I'm going to put some, I think it's jute. No, maybe not. It's a lot lighter than the jute. It's what that other stuff is. Twine, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, it's black, and that's what I'm going to be using. And it's kind of heavy for a fishing pole, but it was either that or use thread, and I decided to use that instead so it'd show up a little bit more on my layout. But I'm going to put 4 here and kind of get farther away from each other each time. So the first 2 are a little closer together and the next 2 a little farther, and so on. And then I'm going to make a little thing that resembles a reel on here. Of course, the whole thing has creative license using with it. So yeah, it's not 100% like a fishing pole, but I'm going for it since it's Punched Out Thursday. This wood grain, in my opinion, is perfect for it, so I was glad it was in here. This is a Echo Park mini collection, mini something. I know it's mini. Anyway, it's called The Great Outdoors, and I didn't know till I was already cutting this apart that the other side has got stars on it. But yeah, I thought, oh good, I used the wood grain. Oh, and this here is I punched it out of the bow punch just now, and it is one of the loops on the bow. I would have liked it to be bigger for a handle, but that's all I could come up with unless I just cut one by hand. So I decided I'd just go ahead and punch it out and use it, and I just rounded that one end. And see, again, I'm using the berries. I'm going to punch out 6, I think, but I'm only going to use 5. I'm going to use these things to make the reel. And so I'm going to put 5 around there, and then I'm going to punch out a 1/4 inch one and put in the middle. And I don't know if it looks enough like a reel or not. But then I'm going to take the dragonfly and just cut his tail off for the handle that comes out. Of course, it's not 3-dimensional, so all you're going to see is the part sticking out, because I'm not going to make anything that sticks up. And there's the 1/4 inch punch, and it moved pretty fast, didn't it? And here's the dragonfly, and see how his tail is? It's rounded and everything already for me. So I'm just punching the tail out, and I'm going to glue it down, and it's going to look like a little handle coming out there. Well, it is, if you use your imagination. So y'all have to work with me here on this fishing pole. But I wanted to have the line on the fishing pole just go like a swirl across the page. And so, of course, then I had to have a fishing pole to have that line, or else it'd look kind of funny going across there. So I decided, okay, I'm going to figure out a way to punch out a fishing pole here. And see, don't that look a little bit like one? Yeah, that's what that's what I said too. Use your imagination. And here I'm going to punch out this punch here, the one I call a braid punch. Only today I'm going to call it's the laurel leaf punch, and I am going to call it a chain today. You know those chains that you hang the fish on that you catch when you go fishing, and you hook them on there and you put them over the side of the boat or in the water somewhere so that the fish can be hanging there in the water. Yeah, that's what that's going to be today. I decided I'd better go ahead and do this paper so I'd know exactly where my fishing pole and my line going across there was. Yeah, see, it's kind of heavy and kind of dark, but it shows up good, and that's what I wanted. And see, I'm even going to go through those little rings, those eyes on my fishing pole, like it's really fishing line. Yeah, but I did have fun doing this anyway. I did have fun using my imagination and looking at my punches and thinking, what could I do with them today? I am just clipping a little tiny piece of scrap to put on top of that piece of twine that's behind the reel, just to make sure that it's stuck. I was afraid it'd come undone. I did put glue on it, but I was still afraid it'd come undone. And now I put foam tape behind there, so it's more 3-dimensional, and it's sticking really good. It was just the end of that one roll that was super sticky that I was playing with a month or 2 ago, and I ran out of the other and didn't want to walk across the room and get some more foam tape. So yeah, I used the end of that. Now I can throw the little core thing away. I decided I'd go ahead and put this paper down, and I didn't have room because, of course, I put foam tape on the reel. So I had to move it to the right, and I thought, oh, I'm not good at left-handed stuff. And I think I did pretty good laying that down there. It might be just a tiny bit crooked, but better than I thought I would be doing. And later I wished I'd put my fishing pole like a little bit of an angle, part of it on that paper and part not. But I'm going to leave it as it is because, like I said, that foam tape is really sticky. I am cutting out some more of the wedding rings, and I'm going to use them on my chain. First, I'm going to put one down at the bottom, and I'm going to use my smaller bow punch. See, I punched it out, and the tail part of the fish tail part of the bow. Yeah, my mind went blank for a second there. I am going to use it like the end of a ring thing. You know, there's like it's a hook thing, clip thing, I don't know. And I was going to use a ring up there at the top, but I am going to forget to do that. I'm going to pull a brad out for it. And by the time I get the brad out and everything, I forgot to use another ring up there at the top. But since it's laying there, I will end up using it for something else. And yeah, I'm just being a little picky here, making sure my thing is straight on there. And yeah, I think it looks all right. And I made sure it hung down below the printed paper part so that since I worked so hard on it, it could be seen. So yeah, that part will hang a little bit lower. Now I'm taking my fish and putting them on this chain and have it go up. And I did think about clipping the chain and putting half on the mouth and half not. But then I thought, well, if I just nestle it in there, I think it'll work. So that's what I'm doing. And I think I'm going to put 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put 5 on there. And then I'm going to have one on my fishing line. And I went every other one, orange, yellow, all the way up. And the brad, I thought for sure I'd have a gray brad in my collection of brads because I still have quite a few. But I didn't, so I did use kind of a pewter colored, I guess. It's not super bright. And I could not find a round one. I dug in the area where these were at and dug in there, and no, there wasn't a round one in the bunch. And I glanced through the rest of the stuff, but I am not going to find a round one to put on there. So it will be square. And see how many I have? You'd think I'd have a gray one, and you would think I'd have a round one, but no, there isn't. And I'm looking, but cannot find one. So I'm going to give up. And see, I even looked over there, and those are all really tiny. And decided, okay, I'll use a square one. And yeah, I forget to add the ring up there at the top. I had a plan for it, but it got left by the wayside. See that roll of foam tape over to the left-hand side? Yeah, I am finally using it all up. And I'm putting the bottom ones on foam tape, but that top one and the end of my chain, they're going to go flat against the paper. And the reason being is because I'm going to use that brad, and it's going to be against the paper. And I do end up with this a little bit crooked. I am noticing that while watching the video and glancing over here at my layout. Yeah, not a whole lot crooked, just a little bit. But I think I'll be able to fix it later. Because the top part looks kind of on the straight side, and that's what's glued down. Just the foam tape part I'll have to move. And here I thought I'd better go ahead and put the picture down so that I'll know where I have my fishing line to go. Oh, and I'm showing you this punch, and I guess it's like a confetti punch for the corner of your picture frame, your matting on your picture. I've had it a long time. I used to use corner punches a lot. And it has this one piece in there that, I punched out all the pieces, and it has a balloon. Then it has this other piece that kind of looks like a hook. So that's what I'm going to use it as. And it even shows it coming out the other side of its mouth. And so, yeah, it does look like a hook. I think it is actually supposed to be like a shadow, maybe. I'm not sure, but I'm going to use it as a hook. And I used the 3/4 inch circle punch here. And I punched a white one out, and then I punched half of a red one, and now I'm just going to punch a little bobber thingy on the top here and have me a bobber hanging with my fish too. But I'm actually getting close to the end of the layout. I do have my title to go, but I am going to cut that part out when I go to put it on here, so y'all won't have to watch me do it, because I am going to have to use glue to put each and every one down. Yeah. I don't know what made me so ambitious today. When I was doing the title, I thought I should have just pulled some thickers out or something, or some kind of letter stickers instead of making my own. I did make my own. I didn't mention that. I made my own on the Big Shot. But I'm putting my picture down. Like I said, I needed to know where it was going to be before I actually glued my line down. And yeah, I'm trying to decide how exactly I want it. And I'm only going to put glue here and there on that because I want part of it to be kind of loose looking. I do want it to be where I want it to be, but I want it to look like it's actually in movement. So yeah, I'm not gluing the whole thing down. And I picked up that ring that was laying there that I forgot to use earlier. I decided to put a swivel on here. I had an uncle that used them all the time. So I can put a swivel on here. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting a swivel on the hook so that, yeah, that little fish can just twirl all around while it gets brought in. At least that's what my imagination thought when I was a kid. And I'd see my uncle put them on there. And yeah, I didn't have to cut any of this twine off. When I cut it, I thought I'll make it a little bit longer, and I expect it to be needed. And because longer is better than too short, since I knew I wanted to swirl it through here. And I used it all. But my title's the only thing left to do. And I'm showing the Sizzix. It's playground letters, and they do have a shadow. So yeah, I did a shadow with them. And I used the yellow for the letter, and then the shadow I used the orange. So I repeated those colors that's in the paper again. Although I did think about using black so it'd show up better. I thought, no, it's already like a cartoon and kind of, bright and colorful. So I'm going to go ahead and use these colors. And my title is A Whopper and a Small Fry. But you did see that I had and backwards laying on there when I pulled them out of the bowl. But I did catch it. When I went to glue them down, I did catch it. But he's got a Whopper and then a small fry. Of course, I was thinking of Burger King when I was making the title. But there's my layout. I am done, and it's for Punched Out Thursday. Be sure and check the other gals out and see what they've created this week and use their punches. I know I have more punches than a couple of the others, but yeah, there is lots of things you can do, even if you only have a few, because you can cut some things by hand. And punches are quicker than cutting out stuff with a die. Like I had to cut all these letters with a die. So yeah, it took a while to do them. And I forgot, I went ahead and used the Jelly Roll punch and highlighted the fish on the left-hand side. So yeah, they're all highlighted with the Jelly Roll punch. But yeah, see my little end on that chain? And I did a special effect for y'all too. But yeah, a Whopper and a small fry. But thank y'all so very much for watching. If you want to leave a comment, I'll get back with you. If you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. Have a happy, scrappy week. Bye.